Mhm.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Mhm. Okay. Pin this to the top. All right. All right. I'm gonna start making my pivot points for tomorrow. What's up, Adam? What's up, Mr. Allen? Rodney G, what's up? All right, all right, all right. Yes, I know. Well, there is an opportunity to do so. Actually, if you average down, then, sold for a profit. But we still got a week, and it's going to go higher, so not too worried about it. Anyway, so on the left here, you've got this pivot point calculator I've given you guys, and I'm going to calculate the pivots now for tomorrow, draw out the value area and everything. Let me show you this real quick. So I drew, let's look at a little bit shorter. Let's see here. Oops, sorry, 1 second. Don't freeze on me now. There we go. You might be able to see this better. Okay, so I did this fib extension drawing from the month of January right here, so we could have for February and all the levels that we needed for the month. And today's the 4th, and we've already got 100% uh, over that today right here. So next target is right here, 399.91. I know that sounds crazy, but absolutely possible. All right, so that's what this little fib extension is, and we can work on drawing some of those in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to calculate these pivots now for tomorrow. So if you guys are just joining me now, and why I do this is because the broader market, the people that have all the money in the world, the suits, as people like to call them, um, they're always trading futures. And futures are where the most money is usually traded during the day. That's where the big boys play, it's their playground. So, depending on what's going on with the futures, that's where it really matters when it comes to the overall market, so that you can understand. Um, if you can understand where the overall market's going, it'll give you a better sense of your positions. All right, so I'm going to take this data from this candle right here, which was yesterday, or today, but this is tomorrow, or the start of tomorrow, which was 6 o'clock this evening. Futures open at 6, close at 4:15, then reopen at 5, or excuse me, reopen at 4:30, close at 5, and that's it for that day. And then the following day is 6 o'clock. All right, so I'm going to use this candle right here. We got, let's see, put my pivots right here on this screen. All right, so right here, we can see that the high for this day was 3869.75. The close was 3866.50, and the low was 3811.25. Okay. So then right here, we now have all of our pivot points, and then our resistance and support levels. So I have, oops, let's go to this one. So I have made a line. I hate when it does that. I have a line made up for S3, S2, S1, R1, R2, R3, and the pivot. So I'm just going to go through these and edit these. So done, S2, 3790, 67, 38, 28, 58, 38, 20. Okay, then I'm going to get the pivot, which is now 38, 49, 17, R1. It's right there. Edit that. 387.08. R2. 3907.67. And R3. 3945.58. Okay. So now I have the resistance levels for tomorrow as well as the support levels and the pivot point. I also have the VWAP over here as a bubble, and that's also used as a point of contention during the day. If anyone needs that script, I can send it to you. Just message me on the Discord. Alright, so now we're going to take a deeper look in today's action and come up with the value area and the point of control, which the point of control is where 70% of the total volume was traded in a day is in the value area, and the point of control is where the most of that volume was traded. Alright, so we're going to look at monkey bars here. And I know some of you guys have never seen this stuff before. Let's see here. All right. So, this is today's action right here. Okay? Now, what this represents is on the left-hand side is the volume for today's day, and on the right-hand side is the amount of time that it's spent at these levels. Hold on, let me put the pivot points down real quick. 1 second. And this one. Okay, sorry. So you can see everything. Okay. So this is where the volume is listed, and this is where the price, how long we've spent at these price levels is. All right, and then the shaded area that you see on each side of this is where 70% of the volume was traded around this area and 70% of the price was traded around this area. But I like to focus on the volume because that tells me where the money actually is. All right, so diving into this, this area right here is my value area. So I've made a value area low line and a value area high line that I change every day. So I'm going to right click this and activate this. And I'm literally going to put this at the bottom right here. And then my value area high, I'm going to activate that. And I'm going to put it right. Is that right? Now, I've never seen this. So I want to point something out, and I think this happened because of how the end of the day was going. I'm actually going to put the value up on top of this line here. So this pink bar right here is the point of control, which is where the most volume traded for the day. So I'm going to right click this and I'm going to put it right in the center here. So you notice how today we were stuck in that range between like from maybe 2 o'clock or like 1:30 on. SPY was stuck in one area. That's all that volume was built up here, and that's why this pink bar is right here. So that's value that's built up, and then we ended up closing up and above that. So to me, that's bullish. Closing above value is bullish. Closing below value is bearish. All right, now I do this every day because, like I said, it's important to see where the market's going. Overall, know the levels because they play a pivotal role in any of your positions. All right. So now we are going to go over some positions that we have looked at recently. So I'm going to go back to my regular chart, by the way. And I'm actually going to do one more thing before I forget. I'm going to delete this square real quick, or rectangle. Now what I want to do for tomorrow is I'm going to make a rectangle from the start of the day. So I'm going to make a rectangle between value area high and value area low and carry that out to the end of the day right there. So that way I know where the value is right here. I can figure that out and know that the value is in this area. And it's important to know that if you go from out of value back into value, you are likely to reach the bottom of value, or if you're going into value from the bottom, you're actually likely to reach the top of value. That's statistically 80% likely. That's historically done. I'm not making that up. I've seen it 1,000 times myself happen. It's not 100%, but it is something to note. Okay, so let's look at some stuff that we were looking at today. All right. And then if you guys have any chart requests, please drop them in the chat and I will chat on YouTube and I will pull it up for you. We're also going to go over the breakout list, which I'm going to pull up here in a second. So let's see here. Sorry, just pulling up Discord. Going to start at the beginning of the day here. So first play today was Dollar General. So why did we get into this sucker? Let's pull this up on the daily. So as you can see here, we had the support level down over here, and we pretty much reached that recently. And since we saw this, yeah, we'll check out Verizon. Thank you. So since we had this point of consolidation right here, sideways and kind of lifting, to me and to Alan, we thought that this might have been a good opportunity to get into this. So looking at this on also want to point out something else. Let me go back to the daily real quick. Whenever I see the RSI go below 30 and then back up above, to me that's bullish because that means that we're oversold. So there's that. So we had support here and this right here. Yeah, this is your baby. So target wise for this, where do we go? So I'm going to look at the hourly. And I've got all these lines on this chart. So I use the 8 EMA right here and the 21 EMA as well. So when the 8 goes below the 21 here, you see that's bearish, and we've traded all the way down to here. Okay? Now we have this double bottom here, and then we have a higher low right here. And we thought that we might have gotten that this morning here, but it was a little bit of fake out, but still got this nice strong close. And you also have this opportunity here for the 8 to go back above the 21, which is bullish. So, and a good sign of a bottom. So what I would do from here is I would take a trend line from this and go out here. And is this the 19th right here? So we're going to go all the way out to the end of the 19th. Right there. Alright, and then I'm going to right click this. And I'm going to redraw this as a channel. And I'm going to project Dollar General to trade through this channel up to that point. That's basing it off it picking up trajectory here. Now, I'm going to go back. This is my main trend line that I'm worried about. Now it might, when it gets up to these levels right about here, if it gets up to there, you might see some sort of consolidation to go sideways. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes trend lines get broken by price, sometimes they get broken by time. When they're broken by time, you don't want to take it too serious as much as it is by price. But anyway, so ultimately, target here for DG would be somewhere around this area, in my opinion. So we're going to actually blow that up so it fits over Friday. But that's my target. So I expect this to actually hit highs, all-time highs, actually, in a couple weeks. All right. Verizon. Back this up to the daily. Cool. So Verizon trades in this range here. Look at this box. It just trades in this box constantly. This is funny. I drew this back in the day, and it actually ended up doing it. That's pretty funny. Anyway, going back to here. So I'm going to take these lines off so it's not confusing. Yeah, I'll check out SRE for you. All right, let's remove that. So I'm actually going to activate this and pull this over to the right. But I took part in this because we got this triple bottom right here in Verizon. And to me, that was pretty bullish. Pull up with the hourly. So I'm expecting, let's see here. We'll use this trajectory right here. And we'll redraw this as a channel. So I expect Verizon to continue through this channel right here up and until around this point. Now, if it gets up and over this level right here, it's breakout time. Why is that? Because you have this gap right here. And one quick note, if you don't have your after hours turned off for equities, you need to, because otherwise you won't be able to see where the gaps are. Gaps are always meant to be filled over time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to highlight this gap, right click that, going to make that green. It's not showing, it will later. TOS is kind of funny sometimes. Anyway, so this option also expires on the 19th of February. So we're going to expect it to be right around this area right here. It's around 56 to 56.50. So we got some time on it. The premium is about equal to where that's at, but a lot of these we don't plan to hold. Like, I never hold positions up till expiration unless I have a runner for a long time. It doesn't make sense. Usually I like to move on to, because of theta. So theta is the time value of options, and the closer you get to expiration, the higher theta is. And there's something called theta burn. When things move sideways, you don't want theta burn. Or down, even worse. Alright, so SRE. Sempra Energy. Alright. So, just want to note you've got this resistance level here. You've got this support level right about there. So now you can see we're trading in this range. You want to make things simple. Like, you don't want to overcomplicate things. Overcomplicating a chart, a whole bunch of indicators, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to do that. Keep it simple. See where the money is. See where the bounces are. All right. So again, similar situation. We've got the RSI dipping below 30 and back up above. That's bullish. So I want to take a trend line up from this point here. And I'm going to redraw this as a channel like so. So we should expect SRE to stay in this channel. As long as it stays in this channel, it's bullish. And you'd expect to see some resistance around the 135, 136 level. But if it does give up and over that, you could expect a breakout. And if this is an oil company, I don't know if it is or isn't. Oil's on fire, making a turnaround. Could see a breakout in a lot of names in the oil and energy. All right, ZM. So, ZM, check out this gap right here. And check out that support right there. So this gap was basically filled right here. Okay. Gonna remove that. Gonna make this a little bit closer so you can see this. So then you've got this trend line going up like this. And note today that we bounced right off of it right there. See that? That was a sign for you right there. So going back, that was the first sign to you. You got the RSI again, similar situation with the breakout. So what I would expect is for Zoom to be trading in this channel right here. And this would be my first concern of resistance. This is my target for Zoom in the next couple of weeks. So somewhere around like the 430 area. So if we're gonna say that the 219 would be right here, somewhere in this area right here. And keep it simple. I mean, you've got this channel. You've seen that it's been able to hold it from this level. You've got the support here. And just look across. You see you've got some resistance right here, and that kind of meets up with our target. All right. So that's Zoom. We can look at Peloton, absolutely. I have been out of this name for a hot minute. We did have a play for it the other day, yesterday, just to play the run up into earnings today and close it out. And look where it went down big time after hours. Not surprised. They got supply chain issues. So this is a big fake out right here. So you're going to expect it to open down around this area. Now I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to do some fib extensions. And this is going to show us where the support is. So this is how you draw fib extensions to the downside. So I'm going to go, you go from high to low to high. All right? So this high to this low to this high. Okay? Now you've got these levels right here of support. And you can already see that, let's see, we're around the 140, just below 145. So going back below this one, probably hit the 50 line here. And if you look to the left, sorry, let me edit this because I don't think this is enough time for me ever. Edit, make this 90 days. Okay. Boom. All right, that works. All right, so this 50 line, pay attention. Look to your left. You're meeting support here. You're meeting support here. You're also meeting support over here. So this 140, 149 level would be a good bounce point at the 50% fib retracement based upon drawing this extension. I should probably make this perfect. So let's do this. So the high was 171.09 on this one. The low here was, hold on, low 139.06. Yep, that's right. And then the high on this candle, 157.83. So Just want to make sure you get the exact numbers here. So yeah, 141.81. That's what I would look at. Now check this out. I was talking about this with MJ, and we've been looking at this for a while. And it's been going through these levels, and look where this one's 85. It's about where it's at after hours right here. Why is this important? If you learn how to do spreads, and we'll talk about doing spreads in the future, you can sell options that are out of the money, that have premium, and collect on that premium. And even though the stock may run up, it may not hit those levels. And you can protect yourself with a spread and make money on trades like this, especially during earnings, because they have huge implied volatility. So, all right, I did have a few requests that people sent me earlier, so I'm going to have to hit on those. We have AMD. So we're going to take this one off. So with AMD, we were basing this support level and this support level all matching up as support for AMD. This I consider a look below and fail. I think this is because it recovered. I don't count that as legitimate. So what I would look to see on this one, and you can see right here, we just had the RSI. Let's look on the daily. Let's look on the daily. So follow this right here as the basic trend line. You also have that support. But as long as we stay above this level and above this trend line, I would play this as, I would consider this as still has the ability to move higher from here. And the breakout level would be up above this high of this candle. But what you do want to see is first making it over today's high, which was 88.60. So anything over 88.60 is your first confirmation that we're definitely getting a reversal on AMD. And he told me that he's got 219 on this, so 219 right about there. So expect AMD around 219 to be, oops, this general vicinity right here. Okay, Home Depot. This was a great play. Picked this up. Saw the price action yesterday. All right, so what I want to show you here is this support right here. Have that nice candle right here on the first. Going up and above this candle yesterday was bullish to me, and going above the close, this is not yesterday, but the day before yesterday. So this is my confirmation right here. So that's why I went long yesterday. And then I'm just taking this trend line right here, and I'm taking this up. So let's bring it in a little bit closer. Let's fix that just a little bit. All right, so I'm targeting 285 on this. And we've got 219 again. So 219 is all the way out here. So you want to make it simple. You just want to go with the trajectory of a stock up into a resistance point. At that point, you have to make a realization that, like, you can set a price level here, right click this, edit properties, call this resistance / breakout point. Okay, put the name on the right, put the price on the right, hit OK, right click this. Okay, create an alert with the drawing. Once it goes above, you get an alert on your phone. You don't have to keep up with it. Same with this line. You want to create an alert. You want to say if it goes below your trend line, you're out. Boom. You're set up. You don't have to keep an eye on the chart. That's how I get alerts on things. Like somebody was asking me, how did I figure out this trade on PTSG? No, PSTG, sorry. Right here. Drew this trend line here, got this wedge going. Breakout up and over this. Boom. Easy peasy. BA, same thing, right here. Set an alert. First of all, we had all this support that we went over in previous videos, right here. Boom. And boom, right here. Okay. Follow this trend line higher. And look where we're at now. We went up and above this line. That was confirmation of the breakout. This is one of our better plays of the week by far. Hands down. Okay, SAP. Again, just super bullish chart. We've already gone through earnings, which is great, so no earnings risk. I'm really high on this. Expect some resistance around this level, but if we get up and above this level, which I'm going to mark right here, price level, up and above this high, we can fill this gap, and if we fill that gap, sky's the limit. So I'm going to create an alert with this drawing, up and above, and I create an alert with this drawing that goes below. Now sometimes like I said, your trend lines will get broken with time, and then you can check them out, and if it's with time, then you have to take it with a grain of salt and maybe back it up a little bit so you can see where there's some previous support or resistance levels. Okay, I'm looking at space now. Very bullish. I was looking at this the other day, but didn't touch it. So generally, space is trading in this range right about here. I'm not going to count this because this is just what I like to call look above and fail. Didn't keep it, went back down. This is the general trajectory. I mean, if you go down with this channel, it still lines up all the way with this. So this is the general trajectory of space. Oops. Take that back, bring it in. So, as you can see here, it goes up the channel, down, up the channel, down, up the channel, down. So, if that was the case, you'd expect it to do this number. Go here to here, then back up to here. Because that just follows the way that this has been trading. So, I would expect space to end up somewhere up in here early next week, based upon that. Now, if it breaks this, then that's negated. And always take targets with a grain of salt. You make a target, it's great, but you have to keep track of your trend lines. And you can create an alert when it crosses below here, okay? Again, if it goes below that line, I'm getting an alert and I'm out if I'm in it, or I gotta analyze what's going on at least. Make yourself aware. Don't make it harder than it needs to be on any of this stuff. All right. If there's not any other request at the moment, I do want to pull this up. So let's see. There we go. Can you guys see this? Or does it need to be a little bit larger? I can make it larger. Is that good? Cool. All right, so I run a screen every day, almost every day. And I get a list of stocks that meet my criteria of stuff that that I think is going to break out. So it's this long list right now, and that's not normal. Usually the list is like 20, 30 names, and there are 263 names right now coming up on my scan, which is crazy. So I can't literally go through every single one of these, but I am going to go through them. See if I see anything that I think pops out. So what I do here is I look at these charts first of all. And this is the first one on the list. And I go to the trade tab. First thing I do is I look at the options and see if they are, number one, traded often, which this one is not at all. And I also look at the spread. So if there's not a lot of volume, I don't like to really get into an option trade with it because it's just not widely traded. And I might be able to get into a position, but I'm not guaranteed about getting a good enough fill on it on the other side. So I'm going to keep going through these charts here. So here's just a freaking bullish breakout on this company, Revolve Group. And you can just see this beautiful long-term trend line. You got this shorter-term trend line. And we got a breakout possibility up and over this high right here. So I would be long, I would consider something up and over that high. So I'm going to set an alert. Edit the properties, 4094, breakout, aim on the right, price on the right. It's going to make it green because it's something I'm buying. I'm going to create an alert. This is what I do all the time. Going through my list, finding stuff, setting alerts, moving on. Look at this one. Not widely traded options either. A little bit better than the first one we looked at. We'll still chart it just in case. Look at this, just absolutely beautiful chart. The scan is just crazy good. I do like to do the channels so you can kind of see how much upside is there really. and right here, and that's important because if there's not a lot of upside in the channel, then if I'm looking at options, but there's not the price or the premium I'm willing to pay for those options is about where the top of the channel is, it's not worth me touching. So, for example, if I was looking at, 2219 calls on this, top of that channel is 117, okay? So, 117 is about where the 115s are priced at right now. So to me, that's not worth it unless it breaks out. But there's always better opportunities out there. This has been on my list for several days now, and boom. It's like a rocket ship. I want to point something out. Every one of these on this list has the 8 above the 21. So it's had a recent bullish cross on the 8 over the 21. So this is what I call it gap up. So if you were in this stock, what I would do, and I do this every day, is I'd set a price alert at the low. And as long as you don't close below the prior day's low, you stay long the position. And you ride the position all the way up. Now, of course, if you were in this, then you would want to take a profit on the majority, especially if you had options, and just ride the rest. Never take a profit for granted, especially when it comes to options trading. Such a volatile thing. DraftKings, extremely bullish right now, breaking out. Got a lot of things good going for it. I had this downtrend line here. Once it broke out of it, got to go with the bullish trend here. Take this line off because you don't need it anymore. Oops. Take that off. Take this one higher. What you can do, make this a channel. And you start the channel from the low. See this low point right here? You're going to start the channel from that low point. So technically, you've got all this open area for DraftKings. So DraftKings is pretty bullish right now. ACHC. Again, all these charts are going to be beautiful. So, got this longer term right here. I'm going to redraw this as a channel, right? That. So again, you see how much space you have left. And what's good about this is you know where these channels are. You can do a quick day trade on those channels trading puts, and those can pay off greatly. I need to move that. Let's put this over here. There we go. Nobody said anything. All right. Just another beautiful chart here. This is the general channel. Again, if you ever see a look above and fail right here, you do not count it. And usually, about 90% of the time, if we go look above and fail, we usually retest the bottom of the channel. If we go look below and fail, we retest the top of the channel. All right. Next. UAA. Extremely bullish. I mean, look at this gap right here, and it immediately is just filling the gap. So right now, up and over this high on 2116, sky's the limit. Any other chart requests? Remember, Cisco was a play that I had recently. And today was the breakout. Why did I call out Cisco? Right here. Saw plenty of support here. You got support from here, right here. KO, okay, I got you. So we just filled this gap right here. This gap just got filled. Yeah, I just touched on it, SAP, but I will do it again, no problem. Coke. So I was mentioning earlier, I do like Coke around here just because, or somebody asked what I thought about Coke. I do like it right now. Because you got some support right here. But the thing is, you want to see it break out of this box. So whenever you see balance, and this is what I call balance right here, where we're just trading in a range. Okay. Yeah, I went over it. Just check back on it. This is the balance area. Okay. We've been stuck in this range. You ever see stuff in range? Take note of it. Just drag it to the right a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to see it get up and over or down and under the balance area. Because once it does, then it's ready to make that move. There's no reason to force anything. You can always find another opportunity. So I hope that answered your question, Adam. All right. Facebook, I reported, let's see, I had this rejection that I noted here, went along with this trend line to the downside. I'm going to remove that since that was broken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do fib extensions on this one, but the other way. So last time we did high to low to high. Now we're going to do low to high to low. And I'm going to take this one off so it doesn't get too confusing. So this low to this high to this low, right there. Now what does that do? This shows you right here that this is a viable situation. And let me explain. First of all, you've got this gap, small one, but you got a gap right here. You went through that gap held right here, and look at this point. You see these same size body candles lining up next to each other with this support? That's bullish. So what I would do is take a trend line from here, reaching out to that, and seeing what happens. Being that the 23.6 held here, next target is the 38.2, so 271.16, unless the trend is broken. If the trend breaks, it invalidates the trade. But you can use these points as targets. It's exactly what I did with SPY. It's exactly what I pointed out with pins, because MJ was asking about it. Same thing. So use these tools to your advantage. Wix. All right, so this is similar situation with Coke, but a lot more long term. So what I'm gonna do is take this right here and just do this box right here. So I'm not including this. Now, why am I not including it? You may ask. You see this gap right here? This was essentially a gap fill and essentially a look above and fail on this move higher. So I am negating making this part of the rectangle because here it was tested and failed. I mean, look at that. That's very bullish, only to be rejected. That's a huge bullish candle, only to be rejected. So then we traded sideways, sideways, bounce here. So I would look for a break up and above this point, which is the top of this rectangle. So I'd mark that as resistance breakout level. Show the name on the right, price on the right, hit OK, and create an alert when it goes up and above, and boom, you're set. Any other requests? Just looking through this list here to see if I see any names that you guys might be familiar with. I want to point something out. No problem, Adam. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm trying to show you guys and educate you guys, because this is what fucking matters. Excuse my language. You know, I can sit there and give you play after play after play after play. I can, you know, just follow me. Like, but if you don't know the reasoning behind it, doesn't matter at all. You have to learn how to find this stuff so you know how the trade is working out. What's the reasoning behind it? You can't trade blindly, because if you do, you will blow up your account so fast. It's not even funny. I wanted to point this out. On the breakout list, I have got the IWM here. I have got, let's see, just want to make sure. Spiders on here. Chewy's on here. I know a lot of you guys are in that. But I'm pretty sure at least half the indexes are on this list. Whenever I see the indexes on NVIDIA's on here, and we took that today, early or late in the day. Utilities is on here, which is interesting. So whenever you see, like, if you got this list, see SRE, we were looking at that earlier, and there it is right there. If you ever see indexes on the list, super bullish for the overall market. If you ever see a ETF for an industry, super bullish as well. So sometimes you can match that up with um, ETF and stock, also both in the list. All right, we're going to do BABA here. All right, this is my chart for BABA. I've been charting this since December, and I just want to point out how it's played out perfectly to a T. So let's explain this, okay? You've got this long-term downtrend line right here. That's what I initially started with, okay? Then you had this gap, which I noted. Then you had these areas of support right here, which were broken by this gap, which would then be resistance here, okay? So, bottomed here, took this trend line with this, carried it out. So once we broke up and over this gap, the gaps are meant to be filled. So we come up, break above this breakout line, this trend line to the downside, break above these support lines, boom, come down to here, because this was resistance, but then becomes support in the future, support, support, higher. So overall, bullish, can still use that trend line. You can use a secondary trend line here. And this is easiest of a chart that you could possibly look at. If you just don't make it complicated. It's super simple. It's all right in front of you. So I'm just going to take from this resistance, from this support line, I'm just going to put a catty corner with this candle and write it out from here. So to me, BABA is bullish. It did reject this high today, so it's going to need to hold this trend line from this low. But this was a gap up. This was also a gap up, even though we traded down during the day. And because this was a gap up, as long as we didn't go below prior day's low, it's still bullish. So if you're in this, as long as we don't go below this low right here, you should still stay in the position. Any other requests? That was a good one. Really good one. One of my favorites right now to train on. Because that is just beautiful. It's textbook. Still here, just responding to a few messages. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and like today's post. All right. Last call. Gonna go through a few more here. Names that I see. So sometimes I like to go to the bottom of this list. I know the top of the list is where all the strength is on the RSI, but if you go from the bottom, you're going to get names that just went bullish, basically. And some of them are going to be messy, and they won't work out. But that's okay. They're on the list. It's important to look at them first before you make that determination. Not really crazy about this one. Not really crazy about this one. No. 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 Whenever I see it tightening up here, getting a little curl action going on, you know, that's where I start taking note. ACC. It's a little bit tougher down here at the bottom. It's just it's amazing if you follow certain names, draw lines on them. Look at this demand candle right here. Look where we have found support this morning. It's like clockwork. Like, I'm gonna go back over this. This was a few days ago. Trend line higher. Set this alert. Why did I set this alert? Let's go back. That's a resistance point which was crossed right here. Therefore, it should be support in the future. Come back here. Put an alert. Time to buy more. Boom. Bounce. Where are we at now? Went from 48 to 67. I'd say that's pretty good. Also, we drew where our target was for the week. Right up here. We almost hit it. So, we got pretty close today. But let's look for an RSI around 60 real quick. Or over 55 is fine. Alt is on here. What's that look like? See what I mean here? You've got this nice base right there. On a daily chart. That's a higher low set right there. Yep. I'm going to point something else out. Taking this candle, look to the left. What do you see? We bounced up to here. This is the bounce point. See this big candle? Look at that volume right there. So all that is support right there. Because none of these people want to be in pain. So they want to buy more shares at their break-even point. I haven't looked at this in a while on an actual computer, and I just want to point out how this works sometimes. So sometimes we have like this area of consolidation for a while, breakout, then it becomes support. Then we break down, So then you come here and look at this side. Up and over this was a buy point. Now, if you had bought Workhorse on this day, this would be a gap up. Okay? Gap rules say that as long as you don't close below prior day's low, as long as you don't close below prior day's low, you stay in the position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is your defeat day. Now, important to note, the support on Workhorse was right there. So this candle held. I mean, we hit highs today. I almost put this out in as an alert this morning. I was so freaking close, and I was so annoyed looking at it this morning because I saw us break up and out and up and over this point right here. To me, that was bullish, but I did not pull the trigger on it. But I can't pull the trigger on everything. So, all right, last call. All right. If nobody else has anything, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. As far as an outlook for tomorrow, real quick. So futures are holding. Hit our target today. I would expect us to at least hit R1 tomorrow. So R1 is 388.87. We're also above value, so we could gravitate down to value possibly, because you don't want to get too stretched out away from value. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the overnight session. But I mean, this run has just been incredible. I mean, we have moved from 36.56 down here, over 200 S&P points this week. I mean, it's been a banner week. So anyway, targets are R1, R2, R3 up here. Next week, expect us to hit this point at some point. I don't know how long it's going to take. That's ultimately my target, right around that level, just under 4,000. And I'm just going to point this out, go a little bit further so you can see it. That's the next point after that, 41.99. I don't think, well, I'll have to draw these for every month, so we'll play it by ear. I do also want to note let's see, this is the 15-minute, so let's not take that with a grain of salt. But on the daily here, we still have a ways to go on the RSI. Look how high we were here. And look where we're at now. So we have a long way to go. Look at that. Look where we are now. So nothing's stopping this market. We don't have any tweets to worry about or anything like that. I'm not getting political or anything, but those really moved the markets in the past. So Anyway, appreciate you hopping on. Uh, won't be on tomorrow, I don't think, but we'll be making some sort of video, educational wise, for you guys tomorrow or this weekend. Also, stay tuned for the results for the week. Absolutely incredible week, one of the best weeks that we've had. So, thank you guys, and